What are 5 words that trigger negative emotions when you're talking to clients or prospects? Hey, Joe Soto here, owner of Revenue Inbound and marketingagencyowner.com. I'm broadcasting live from South Carolina here down by the Wild Dunes Beach Resort. And I want to talk about 5 words that trigger negative emotions. And what do I mean by that? We haphazardly say things that get in the way of a sale or get in the way of us building rapport with clients. And these 5 words are the most detrimental. And most people just say these things as part of their everyday vocabulary or in their conversations with clients without thinking twice about the effect or the impact it has with other people. And it really has to do with a certain pattern that people have, which we don't have time to get into on this video to be able to detect it ahead of time. But here's the words to typically stay away from. So first of all, understand that most decision makers are internally motivated, internally driven to make evaluations. In other words, they don't rely on other people, particularly if they're a successful entrepreneur or if they're a type A driven personality. They don't rely on other people's opinions in order to make decisions. And so they're used to calling the shots. They're used to being the one to bark orders or to give other people tasks or assign and delegate. And so when an expert or a so-called expert or someone who comes in with who is claiming to have expertise like you into a meeting or a conversation comes in, they're somewhat resistant right away. And so the way to break down that resistance is by eliminating these 5 negative words out of your vocabulary. And these 5 words, well, the first one, let's go through them all. The first one is need, okay? Most decision makers, now here's the exception to this. These words can work once the client prospect has enough rapport with you and sees you as that indeed external trusted advisor or authority on the subject. But they're still evaluating you early on in the conversation or in your meeting. And so they have a different position. And so you have to be able to adapt to that. Okay, so the first word is need. What do I mean by that? Anytime you tell someone that you think they need to do something, they're going to have a polar response to it because most decision makers, like I said, are internally driven. So that nobody can tell them what they need to do or how they need to feel or what they need to think. And then the second word is must, okay? And again, same as the word need. Anytime you tell someone, hey, you must do this, or I think you need to do this, or this is what you have to do. And have to is the third word. The fourth word is better. When you tell someone you better, or this is something that you better be doing if you want X. So need to, have to, must, and better. Those are the primary words. And then the caveat to this is anytime you throw in I think. They don't really care what you think early on, even though you think that they invited you there for your expertise or for you to tell them. The language that you use makes all the difference in the world. So you walk in and you say, hey, Jim, I really think you guys need to be doing this, and this is what I think you should be doing, or this is what you must do if you want this result. That's going to raise the hair in the back of their necks. It's going to make them resistant to whatever you have to say after that. So instead, what do you do instead? So you got these 5 negative words. I need to, you should, you must, you better. And anytime you add I think to that, it adds to their hair is going to raise in the back of their neck and they're going to be less open to you, less open-minded, more resistant. So what do you do instead? You use language that puts it on them. So I'll say, Jim, I'm going to share some insights and information with you, a little bit about our services, and then from there, I'll let you be the judge of whether this is something that can work for you. So using language like you be the judge, or, the ball's going to be in your court whether or not this is something that you guys want to move forward with. See, they already believe the ball's in their court. They already believe they're the judge because they're evaluating you based on their internal evaluation pattern. They're not evaluating it based on you coming to the table and telling them what they need to, have to, should, or must do. Think about how you respond to people who approach you, who you don't know, or who you're meeting for the first time, even if you kind of have an idea that they might know something more than you, and they start telling you what you need to do, have to do, must do, or better to do. Think about your natural emotional response to that. From some people, it's extreme. It's like, oh man, this guy comes in and starts telling me what we need to do right away, and I don't want to. You close off, not because it's not something you don't need to do, but because of how it was presented and pitched to you. So changing up your language and saying things like you can be the judge, or you can be the one to decide, or you're the only one who knows if this works for you. The ball is in your court, Jim. I'm going to share some information, but you're the ultimate judge of how this will work with you. And if you're watching this video, the truth is you're the ultimate judge of how this can work for you and whether or not this will work in any situation that you're in where you're trying to build more rapport, break down the walls, the doors of resistance, and have a little bit more success when you're talking to people. All right. Let me know your feedback, put your comments below, subscribe to the channel, and if you want more training on sales and you want more training on how to increase your sales in your agency, go to joesoto.net and check out some of the free training I have there.